All right, we're back in the garage today. It's a Wednesday evening. Got a little time this evening after work to mess with the frame a little bit, on this S-10 frame that we're putting underneath our Scout. At least that's the plan. We got a lot of work to do before we get to that point, but tonight it's kind of just a slow night. I've cleaned up on the frame a little bit, just with like a wire brush on the drill. But tonight I'm going to start cutting off some of this extra stuff that we've got on here. So like these old body mounts, we're going to start cutting off on those because we don't need them. We're going to have to make new mounts for the Scout, but we're going to get the old death wheel out and see if we can cut these off in a way that we can save them. Might be able to reuse those for the Scout when we get it on there. I don't know how much of this I'm going to record because there's only so much cutting you can watch. I guess it could be therapeutic for some people, just like power washing videos and lawn mowing videos. I know I've watched my share of those. But I'll probably get in here, do a little up close, and see if we can get some good success with the cutoff wheel. Maybe a plasma cutter is something that we could upgrade to one day, but don't have that right now. Just regular old death wheel. So we'll see what we can do. I'll set the camera up, probably time lapse some of it, maybe do a little close up shots and see what we're working with. But let's get started. Wear your protection, folks. My ears ring enough already. I don't need more problems. These wheels are loud, especially when you're cutting on steel. Not sure if Crocs and socks are the OSHA approved footwear for this. Maybe I ought to put that guard back on there so I don't have sparks going absolutely everywhere. But that did pretty good. That did pretty good. We've got another one right up here. That one might not be quite as easy to get to. but we'll see what we can do. All right, got 2 of these cut off. This one, it looks like I got a little bit closer than the other one, but that went pretty quick. Not too bad. I guess you get a good cutoff wheel, and it goes pretty quick. So that's the other one there. Not super close. I cut just on the back side of the weld, thinking that I could save as much of this as possible. And I mean, that's pretty darn straight on both sides, all the way around. So we should be able to reuse those if we need to. I'm about to switch to some flat discs, and we'll clean that up. Got these off of Amazon. I think it was like 15 bucks for a pack. Got several 40 grits, 60 grit, 80 grit, and 120. So I'll pop a 40 grit on the cutoff wheel or on the grinder, and we'll start cutting on those and see if we can get them smoothed down. I'll get the wire brush out and clean this up a little bit. I didn't really get under there when I was cleaning up the frame. You can see the difference there. A little bit of scale on there, but we'll get it cleaned up. You know, probably nothing would ever happen, but I always tend to disconnect my plug whenever I'm changing out the discs or the attachments on a grinder. But it'd be pretty hard to do it, but I would hate to accidentally hit that while I'm changing out a disc. Probably never happened, but better safe than sorry, I guess. Still got all my fingers, so that's good. right, well, one down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 left to go. Not too bad. Not too bad. On to the next. All right, well, if you can't tell by all the grinding dust on the floor, we've got the main body mounts cut off and sanded down. There was another little bracket here that I cut off. Next one back there. Still have the bed mounts to do, but man, I think I've done all that I care to do tonight. Got both sides cleaned up pretty good. It's not perfect, but neither is the frame. Where the factory welded it in, that's actually undercut, so it's smooth, but there's a divot there, a crack, not a crack, but a valley where the factory weld got in a little too deep. But man, that's a lot of work. Plasma cutter definitely would be nice one day. I'm sure I'm just filthy with grinding dust. Probably dust. I bet that's the right word. Although it is getting close to dusk outside. Probably need a mask. That's something I need to look into, because in the past when I've done grinding and stuff like that, normally a day or two afterwards, I feel like garbage. I've got, congestion and stuff, so I'm actually going to go inside after this and do like a nasal rinse with the saline solution. Maybe that'll help. That way I'm not just feeling like trash the next couple of days from all the metal dust and crap. So pushed the frame out, I moved it around a little bit so I could get a little bit better vantage point for grinding and cleaning up. I'm gonna clean up the garage a little bit, get the frame pushed back over to its side. That way my wife can park in the garage and kind of get back some of that space. But one of these days, hopefully one of these days in the future, we'll be able to maybe find a little shop or upgrade to something. That way I'm not working out of a one-car garage. That's the goal. That's the goal. A lot of goals. Having a running Scout on a S-10 frame, that's a goal. I don't know if I've mentioned, but went and picked up an engine stand the other day. There's the engine stand that I went and picked up. Found it on Facebook Marketplace. And the reason I picked that up is because I've got a good buddy. I've known him all my life. I think I might have said this in another video, but he is donating a 5.3 LS to me for this project. And I can't thank him enough. That's such a cool thing. We'll have to do some fixing on it. It probably needs to be just kind of broken down and freshened up, but it's a free engine, and man, I'm thrilled. So that'll be a lot of fun. Trying to track down an NV3500 transmission. The Scout from the factory was a 3-speed, which actually the 3-speed transmission is right there, the one in the back. I'm currently trying to sell that transmission and transfer case. That was out of a Scout 80. So that's what I'm working on for that. And I'd love to keep it a manual, something just about shifting and having a manual transmission. It's so much fun, even if it's not fast or sporty. Just rolling through gears, especially with a V8, that's a lot of fun. So hopefully we can keep the Scout a manual. It'd be easy to find a 4L60 or something like that attached to a LS out of a junkyard, and I feel like that'd be the easy route, but it's not what I want. So I want it, in my mind, a manual transmission is just as cool as you can get for an old hot rod, or really for anything. So that's what we're going for. Hopefully it'll work out. But anyways, that's it. Gonna be it for tonight. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another day. We are currently driving towards downtown Houston. We're gonna go through downtown, go to the south side of Houston. We are picking up the transmission for the Scout project. Yes! Found a guy that's got an NV 3500 5-speed out of what I believe is an 06 1500 Chevy, and we're picking it up. He had it listed on Facebook Marketplace. I shot him an offer that was about 150 bucks less than what he was asking, and he said, come get it. So we're going to get it. And that's what we're doing. We've been on the road for about 45 minutes. We've got another 30 minutes to go before we get there. But yeah, probably won't film picking it up, but we'll get there and we'll grab this transmission. Super excited to have it for the project. It'll be, it's what I wanted. I mean, maybe one day we can upgrade to like a Trivix 6-speed or something, but for right now, for the price we're paying for a 5-speed, it'll be perfect. But if we look this way, we're getting into traffic. Classic downtown traffic. Just cruising along in the old 97 Cherokee. But yeah. The pinion shims that we put in a while back, a week or two ago, they're doing well. Driveline vibration is mostly gone, so that's nice. And the old trusty Steed is doing pretty well on the highway. So, older vehicle, a little noisy, but it does what it does. All right, we'll catch up with y'all later. Take a look at that city. Isn't that neat? Glad I don't live in it, but it's a nice city. All right, adios. All right, we got the transmission loaded up. We're out here southeast Houston. Real nice guy, had this transmission. A bit of a drive, but hey, we got it. What do you think?
I like it.
You like it? Yeah, I think it's gonna work just fine. It's gonna do exactly what we need to do. So we'll get it home, we'll get it cleaned up. He's got a 06 up there, that black truck that he lowered down, and he went V8 and automatic. So this one was behind a 4.3 V6, but it should do exactly what we need it to. Get a good clutch behind it. I rode through it, shifts through all the gears. Got a throwout bearing and all the cable and everything. Probably replace that, obviously, because who knows how good it is. He said everything worked just fine on it, and like I said, I went through the gears and it seems to be working. So yeah, I'm excited for this. This is going to be sweet, rolling through gears in an old Scout. Yes sir. See ya. All right, well, just a little follow-up on the transmission. We got it home. I didn't get any of this on camera, but we spent quite a bit of time with degreaser and brushes and all that kind of stuff, and got it cleaned up, and it is looking really nice. It was kind of dirty. The guy said that he had a leaking valve cover, and so the whole backside of this was just kind of dirty from all the grease and grime. But it's cleaned up, shifts through all the gears. I think I said that before, but it's all cleaned up and ready to go. Now we just need the engine and all the other stuff. But hey, I was saying earlier in this video that I was hoping to find a NV 3500. I did end up selling the other transmission and transfer case from the other Scout that I had. And I don't think I mentioned any of this either. The engine that was getting donated to us, it's missing the intake manifold. Found a guy on Facebook He had 2 of them for sale. I don't remember exactly how much he had them listed for. I think it was like 50 bucks a piece. He said they were both complete. And one is the drive-by-wire, one's the drive-by-cable. And I wanted the drive-by-cable, but I know that the engine that I'm getting has the cathedral port heads. And so I asked him if this intake manifold with the cable throttle body was cathedral port. He said yes. And I said, all right, I'm gonna come get it. So I showed up and he ends up pulling this one out. And I said, is that the cable one? He said, no, I thought you wanted the drive-by-wire. And I said, no, sir, I was looking for the cable. And I said, well, can we just switch the throttle bodies? And he looked at it for a little while, and then he said, well, you can just have them both. So I got 2 intakes for a total of $50. Feel like that was a decent deal. I'll switch the throttle bodies on them so I can have the throttle body that I want, and then I'll sell this intake. This one's a lot cleaner. It's got the fuel rails and the injectors. It's more complete. This one's kind of filthy, missing the rails and injectors, but we can get a little bit of money back for the project. So we got an intake for the engine that we're getting, and we got the transmission that we were wanting. Maybe one day we can upgrade to a like Tremec 6-speed or something really slick like that. That'd be cool. But this NV3500, it'll do exactly what we need it to do. Going from a 3-speed to a 5-speed, more modern transmission. I'm pretty excited about that. So I know the NV3500, it's not super high rated for power. I think it's mid 300s-ish is kind of like their limit, but we're not going to be building a rocket ship. So a little 5.3 that's just kind of freshened up, stock 5.3 will do what we need it to. So really excited about that transmission, really excited about that engine. So there we go. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one.